fat bitch. Jenny Craig pushing weight, shift the package. Pockets on Lizzo, nigga, I got rack, bitch. Make the money stretch, call me Mr. Fantastic. Big K, he gon' learn today, scholastics. School shooter, man, that shit is so tragic. Drama class, make a scene so dramatic. Slice melon with the chopper, it's automatic.
Hey yo, what's going on, you sexy motherfuckers? It's me. I'm back at it again, and today we're gonna be doing part 2 to what if Deku was reincarnation of Luck Voltia. But before we get into that, I have a couple of ideas I want to get out the way, and I want to tell y'all, or I want to see if y'all mess with it, you know, if y'all like the idea. So first, we obviously have what if Deku was Chainsaw Man. If you don't know what that is, from the manga, fucking called Chainsaw Man. Go read it if you haven't. I personally enjoy it. I've heard some people don't enjoy it, but personally, I enjoy it. It's funny. It's dark as fuck in some parts. Like, it's woo-hoo. It's fucked up. And a lot of other things, too. But yeah, that's one idea. I have the thumbnail if you go back on my community tab, but I have two other ideas. One is kind of like a joke one, and the other one is like a serious one. Alright, so the serious one is, what if Deku was a reincarnation of Zenon from Black Clover? If you don't know who that is, I will put an image of him up on the screen right about now. Now, the reason I want to do Zenon is because I really like him as a character. Like, he's the type of guy who you expect who's not strong, unless you're told he's strong. Like, if he walked up to you, you wouldn't expect he's strong. He just looks like a badass all in general. That's why, like, bro, look at his fucking coat, dude. That shit got fur on it. He walking with his hands in his pocket, bro. That's badass. You cannot tell me that is not badass. Also, he's very condescending. Like, he shows superiority, and like, he doesn't even put it in a nice way. He's just like, as if you saw in the like one of the last episodes of Black Clover. You know, he told Yuno, spoiler warning, of course. He told Yuno that it's not that you're weak. It's just that I'm too strong for you, bro. You see how badass that sounds, bro? Like, you're not weak. I'm just too strong for you, you know? But that is the one idea. He will have the devil in there. So he will, I forgot what the devil's name was, but if you have it, you can put it in the comment sections below. You know, let people know what the devil's name is. The other idea is gonna be, I don't know if I'd call it a fun idea, like I said earlier, but I would have a fun time doing it. It's gonna be, what if Deku had a cartel? And if you don't know what a cartel is, it's basically an association of manufacturers or suppliers with the purpose of maintaining prices at a high level and restricting competition. They sell drugs, which is basically the main thing they are known for, but they can do other things. And the most notable drug lords is probably Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. He is a Colombian drug lord. If you guys have seen the show Narcos, because if you haven't, shit, I recommend that shit too, because that shit's fucking lit. Another name that you might have heard been tossed around is Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. He is the guy who escaped prison twice, I believe. So, yeah, those are probably the two most notable that a lot of people probably know of because of the shows that have been, you know, put around them, you know, and, you know, centered around them. But, yeah, tell me what you think about it. I'll be putting up polls as soon as this video comes up. It should be there by then. But now that we're done with that, I should have put a timestamp to tell you to skip to this certain time right now. And without a further ado, let's hop back into this motherfucking story. Last time we left off, they just got done with the entrance exam, and they all certainly passed. Izuku is definitely getting #1 spot. He definitely broke All Might's record. So, when they get home, they wait a week, as per canon, and they finally get their letters in the mail. They all meet up with each other. You know, they tell their parents that they certainly passed. They know damn well they did. No way they did not. They've been training a bit, you know. Kendo and Reiko, they've improved a lot, tremendously. Bakugo, he's getting up there. And Izuku, he's going wild. He's been training his ass off a lot, because you can kind of sense that there are other people who can use mana in this world as well. and he knows that if he's not strong enough, that no one can beat them. Certainly not the number one hero, All Might. So, we're done with that. When they finally get to the meetup spot, they open their letters. All Might pops out, and he introduces himself to Izuku, and he says, "Congratulations, young man. You have now entered UA with a certain amount of points of 353. As he says, you even broke my record, young man. I'm quite surprised myself. I remember when I saw you just a while ago, training in Dagobah Beach with your best friend over here. I believe so, at least. Bakugo Katsuki." As Bakugo's like, "Oh shit, he even knows our names. Yo, that's crazy. I mean, we heard he was gonna be a teacher, but we thought it was just fake news." And he's like, "Shh, shut up, shut up. Let this finish. Let this finish." Well, as it finally finishes talking and everything, and he says, "Welcome to My Hero Academia. Welcome to UA and shit." As the same thing happens with Reiko, Kendo, and then Bakugo, since he decided to go last because he wanted to be special. And when all that extra shit ends, they're like, "Oh shit, what classes did you guys get?" Because they're obviously gonna get different classes. Most likely, right? As Izuku's like, I got class 1A. What did you get, Kendo? As Kendo's like, I I got class 1A too. As Bakugo's like, "Oh shit, Reiko, what about you? What did you get?" As Reiko's like, I got class 1A too. As Bakugo's like, "Oh shit, we all got the same fucking classes. Yo, that's wild. No way. Holy. That's gonna be so fun." As Izuku's like, "Hey, yeah, it's gonna be fun, but just make sure you don't slack off in your training. We gotta make sure we're gonna be able to become the most exceptional heroes across the world. And it's definitely gonna be me. I'm definitely gonna be number one. Ain't nobody gonna touch me, chief." This Baku's like, "Yo, shut your dumb ass up. Let's go get some food." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, I'm a little famished because I've been doing a lot of things." As they kind of walk next to each other. The quote unquote almost couples. They're getting there, and we finally end that day off as we skip to the first day of UA. Now, Deku, when he gets there, with all his friends, they walk through the doors, and when they get to class, Izuku senses a person behind the desk, and he looks over and he sees a guy in a sleeping bag looking like a yellow caterpillar, and he says, "Psst, psst, hey, are you in the wrong place?" As the person, turns around, he's like, "Huh? Oh, you woke me up from my nap. Is it already started?" As Izuku's like, "Yeah, I think class is about to start in around 10 minutes. As the guy's like, "Oh my, here we go again." As he gets out of it, he's like, "Hi, my name's Shota Aizawa. I'm your teacher, homeroom. And yeah, welcome to class 1A. As he says, "Now, shut up. I'm gonna go back to sleep." As he was like, "Dang, that guy is very short and concise to his words. I like it. I want to see what he does. I wonder what his quirk is. I feel like I've heard of the name before. Shota Aizawa. Hmm. Oh, he's Eraserhead. The guy who can erase quirks for a certain amount of time. Hmm. Interesting. I want to see how I fare against him in a fight. It'll be fun." As he goes sits down in the back next to Kendo, and Bakugo is next to Reiko, and they're next to each other. And you might be wondering, like, so which two girls did you take out for Reiko and Kendo to get in? Well, I took out Toru and Froppy. Now, the first one is definitely, that was well known before I even said it. But the second one, you might get a little questionable about that, but hey, don't judge me, alright? I feel like Kendo and Reiko are gonna be a way better duo than Toru and Froppy. I feel like they would be better for that class too, since they already have chemistry with two people in there already. And yeah, After a certain amount of time, a certain person arrives. Tenya fucking Ida. They got there way earlier than he did. And you know how he's a goody two shoes, He's surprised that some students were there before him, so he was like, oh, it's that asshole again. As Izuku's like, oh, it's that guy again. He's funny. I wanna fuck around with him. Knock some sense into him. It's not always good to be a part of the rules. You always gotta go free. As he lays back as he looks towards Kendo, he's like, don't look at him, please. Just don't draw his attention towards me. I'm not trying to deal with him right now. I'll deal with him later if I can. As Kendo's like, alright then. I mean, I wasn't gonna look at him either way. As Izuku's like, oh, okay, alright, I get you. As after a couple of minutes, again, everyone else starts arriving, and Aizawa gets up and he's like, alright then, put these on. As he gets out some uniforms, as everyone's like, oh, why are we getting PE uniforms? As he says, we're gonna have a quirk assessment test. And they're like, wait, what? Why are we having a quirk assessment test? Don't we have that dumbass assembly? As Aizawa was like, what? You're telling me where to go? Nah. This is like freestyle teaching. I can do what I want whenever I want. I can expel whoever I want whenever I want. I could do anything in my classroom, okay? So we're gonna be taking a quirk assessment test, whether you like it or fucking not. As everyone's like, oh, fine. As Izuku's like, actually, I kind of want to see what everyone else has to offer. Because I didn't really look at who was in here. So it'll be an experience to behold. As, when they go to the locker rooms, Izuku, when he's putting on his shit, he jacked, he kind of shredded, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he does have lightning running through him basically 24/7. As he has a grimoire with him too. As, some people are looking at it, and Kirishima, the first guy to ask, he's like, oh, you have one too? As Izuku looks at him, he's like, what do you mean? As Kirishima says, you have those, a grimoire. As Izuku's like, oh, now that I notice it, you have mana too, don't you? As, Kirishima's like, yeah, I have flame magic. As when Luck hears that in his head, he's like, flame magic? Don't tell me. Magna? As when Magna is inside the head of Kirishima, you know, he's like, I wonder what type of magic he has. It looks like he either might have lightning or water, somewhere in between, maybe ice. As when Kirishima says, what magic do you have? And Izuku responds with, I have lightning magic, as he plays around with lightning in his hand as he forms a lightning dragon, a lightning eagle, and a lot of other things. As when Magna hears that in the Kirishima's head, he's like, holy shit, no fucking way. Is that my bro Luck? I never thought I was gonna see him here either. Bro, whoa, that's crazy. I'm gonna have to become friends with this guy. As, Izuku's like, oh, that's some nice magic you have. As Kirishima's like, yeah, you have lightning magic too. That's pretty cool. As they kind of fist pump each other. Yeah, and they're like, all right then, good luck, bro. As Kirishima says, yeah, good luck to you too. As Baku's like, that guy has the same thing as you, Grimoire. As Izuku's like, yeah, seems like it. He says he has flame magic. I don't sense. Hold on. I sense a little more mana coming from specific areas. Can't tell who it is, but I can tell that their mana reservoirs are quite extreme. Not as big as mine, but they're getting there, and that's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. This Bakugo's like, I can tell you're really strong, and I don't know what would happen if they became bad. Do you think you could handle them? Izuku's like, could I handle them? Definitely, but to what extent would I have to put them down, knocking them out, or killing them? That's when Bakugo hears kill. He's like, no, Izuku. Let's not get too extreme, alright? He's like, yeah, you're right. Let's not get there. It's a little too dark for the first day, you know. Let's just get ready and get out. As Bakugo's like, yeah. As they walk out, finally. And, Aizawa was like, alright, the person who got number 1 in the entrance exam, Izuku Midoriya, please come up to the circle. As he's like, why? As Aizawa was like, I need you to be used for a demonstration. As he's like, alright then, I'll go out there. As he walks up and he says, alright, what do I have to do? As Aizawa hands him a ball and he says, throw this as far as you can. As Izuku's like, throw this as far as I can? Shit, say less. Right there, Izuku covers the ball in lightning as he says, hopefully it doesn't break. As he clenches his fist, tightens his grip on the ball as he throws it with almost all his might. As the numbers just keep going up and going up and going up and going up and going up. As Aizawa's jaw drops, he's like, oh my lord, what power do you have, kid? As Izuku's like, I'll reveal that to you later. That yawn was intentional. As I was like, oh, well, you definitely are gonna reveal it to me sooner or later. You're amazing, kid. As he holds up the board, 2,000 miles exactly. As Izuku's like, yeah, I could have gone farther, but I didn't feel like doing that. As I was like, yo, hold on. Did you just say you could have gone farther? As Izuku's like, yeah, I could have gone farther. As I was like, you're insane, kid, but I like it. As he says, next person, please come up. As Kirishima goes up. He got second place. As he says, all right, like the last person, please throw this ball as far as you can. As he's like, all right. As he forms a flame baseball bat. As Aizawa was like, what's up with these kids right now? As Kirishima tightens his grip on the baseball bat, he throws the ball, and he like rounds it up, and he hits that bitch so fucking hard it gets sent flying. As when it's done, it reaches a distance of 1,800 miles approximately. As Aizawa was like, bro, what the fuck are they feeding these younglings? Bro, this guy got 2,000 miles, and this guy got 1,800 miles. Now, I'm using miles because, I'm in the US, but I know that we don't go by the metric system, so I don't know what it would be in kilometers. I'll put that up on the screen though, so yeah. But now that, Deku and Kirishima have gone, both reincarnations of two members of the Black Bulls, who coincidentally are basically the best of friends. And, everyone's just like jaw dropped. They're like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, nah. These two kids aren't even human. They monsters. As, Deku looks at Kirishima and Kirishima looks at him. And they just nod at each other, signifying that they know each other's strengths. And that, they're gonna work harder to be number 1. So, Bakugo and everyone else goes up. They're not going to be that important for now. Although Reiko would get a good ass fucking score because, she can't, levitate it with her mind. But all around, Izuku gets first place in everything. The only people who are even remotely close to him is Bakugo and Kirishima. Kirishima more so because he does have mana, and Bakugo doesn't. So, yeah, those two are really the only real contenders. And the only reason, Shoto isn't up there, he hasn't dealt with anyone with mana, so he doesn't have that motivation, I believe. Because if you train with someone, right, with something you don't have, you're obviously going to find other ways to become stronger, become better. But if you train with the people who basically have the same shit as you, like I'm going to classify quirks as the same thing, right? you're obviously gonna get, a little arrogant in the way you fight. You're not gonna really try to improve as much. That's my take on this right now. So I'm gonna say Shoto's not even close to any of them. So the big dogs of Class 1A and possibly the school is Izuku at first, Bakugo at second, and Kirishima at third. Bakugo ranks above Kirishima just because he's been dealing with Izuku for a long ass time, improving and making himself stronger throughout that time. So it gives him time to, mellow out and I guess mature and stuff. Find new ways to battle with people who have mana. Now, we get to the leaderboards. Izuku's in first place. Second place is Bakugo. Third place is Kirishima. And the list goes on and on. I don't feel like explaining that. But that is the end of the first day at UA. Aizawa didn't do the whole whoever gets last place is expelled because he did see potential in this group and he knew that they were going to give it his all just by looking at the room. He already knew, he already saw that they had their game faces on, right? No matter what. Except a couple, there are obviously going to be a few bad apples in the bunch. But he didn't look at them. He knew if they didn't do good enough, he was going to expel them either way. But that is the end of the first day. Now, we cut to about a day later, next day at UA. And when Izuku and the group head towards UA and they get to the entrance, they see, like reporters everywhere. And they're asking them questions like, oh, we heard All Might's actually a new teacher at UA. Would you mind telling us about this? As Izuku walks up to one of the reporters and he says, I would kindly appreciate it, greatly appreciate it actually, that you all leave. As he puts on a smile, but it kind of is a smile that's very fucking scary. Like you wouldn't want to fuck with anyone with this smile. As the reporters listen to Deku, of course, because he is emanating a very intimidating aura, and they step off and they leave. For now, at least. As, Izuku's like, alright, guys, let's go to fucking class. As when they do head to class, they get in there and they see their, all their classmates are there for on fucking time this time. And Aizawa, he says, oh, hello there, you guys are kind of late compared to these guys. As Izuku's like, yeah, we had a little bit of trouble with reporters and stuff. You know how it goes. As I was like, oh, I completely understand. They've been a pain in our ass for a while right now. As soon as they found out that All Might was a teacher here, we couldn't do anything about him. And Izuku says, yeah. I took care of them. You're welcome. As I was like, how'd you take care of them? As Izuku says, you don't need to know that. It's, how do I say it, classified information. All I really did was scare him off a little, but there's no need for details. As I was like, alright then, alright, I'll let you go by this once, just this once. As Zuko's like, alright, bet. As they all sit down, they get homeroom out of the way, and then at the end of homeroom, obviously, he says that today we're going to be doing something special. So, everyone welcome All Might. As All Might bursts into the room, as I was always like, oh my gosh. Of course he has to go in like this. As All Might introduces himself to the class as everyone starts geeking out, but Bakugo, Izuku, Kendo, Reiko, and some other people don't geek out. They're all calm, cool, and collected. So, All Might says, yes, today's students we will be doing heroes versus villains. Now, please, everyone, get your hero costumes on and let's head out. Now, I will be putting up Izuku's hero costume on the screen right about now. His hero costume hasn't really changed a lot. Only thing is that it's all black. But one cool thing that he did add to it is that when he starts using his mana, is that he has little circuits in the suit that when he uses his mana, his lightning actually goes through those circuits, showing off and making his suit a little more vibrant, As, Izuku gets up, gets his suit, and, they head to the change room. They all change and they head out looking like badasses, as usual. And they finally get to what I believe is called Ground Zero, if I am not wrong. And when they get there, All Might is obviously looking at his pieces of paper because at that point in the story, he's not that good of a teacher. And so he's reading off it, telling his students that today we're going to be doing performance tests, I believe, called the Heroes versus Villains. There will be two teams of two, and they will be going at each other. It will all be randomized, so sit back and relax while I randomize the teams. As everything goes by, Izuku is actually with Bakugo, and the opposing team is going to be Ida and Kirishima. Now, we're gonna skip all the trivial shit. We're just gonna get right into the action. When All Might finally gets done with the previous battles before Izuku, Kirishima, Bakugo, and Ida, he announces the battle is about to commence, so please head to your areas and get ready to prepare. As when Izuku and Bakugo are at the bottom of the building, they're like, alright, so we have to find the rocket, and we also have to take out the two villains. We want to get the full marks on this shit. As Bakugo's like, come on now, Izuku. You know how fast you are, and you know how destructive I can be. We're like the perfect combination. We can either be precise or very messy. Doesn't matter which approach we take, we're always going to get the job done. As Izuku kind of laughs and he's like, yeah, you're not wrong, but I feel like we should be a little more precise in this one. As Bakugo's like, yeah, alright, we can do that. As they have their little plan going on. As we cut to Kirishima and Ida, and they're like, alright. As Kirishima says, I'll be taking Izuku Midoriya. Me and him are about equal in strength. If you fought him, you would get washed. You will be taking Bakugo. It seems like you have the advantage in speed by a long shot. But just because you have the advantage in speed doesn't mean that you have the advantage in power. We're going to make sure we account for that as well. As Ida's like, gosh, how much do you know about battle? As Kirishima's like, I know a lot more than you think. Now, as he cracks his knuckles, let's get ready to fight. As when the planning time is finally over, All Might announces across the speakers that the battle is now commencing. As when Izuku and Bakugo burst through the doors, they notice that nothing is off from what they see. And when they start walking through the building, Izuku says, I sense the other kid. As Bakugo's like, you talking about the Kirishima kid? As Izuku's like, yes, him. I think I should go meet him. You can go find where the bomb is. I want to have a good fight. I haven't had one in a good while. As Bakugo's like, what do you mean you haven't had one in a good while? Don't we train every day? As Izuku's like, I got kind of used to fighting you, so like it's not even that interesting. It's more because like I win all the time. As Bakugo's like, man, shut the fuck up. You're just lucky you have this mana grimoire bullshit while I have this quirk. One day I'll catch up to your bitch ass. As Izuku's like, yeah, keep telling yourself that, bud. As Izuku says, alright then, I'm gonna go fight this flame user boy. As he blitzes past Bakugo, goes to the area where Kirishima is, as they, have a one-on-one standoff, it looks like, a Mexican standoff, as they just looking at each other for a certain amount of time. It's undisclosed information, as, they just standing there, looking at each other, seeing who's going to make the first move. As Izuku says, I'm growing a little impatient. I don't like waiting. As when he takes out his grimoire and his suit lights up, Kirishima's like, that's kind of cool. I'm not even going to lie. As he takes out his grimoire too, as he says, my head is telling me that it knows you. More importantly, the person who lives inside my head, his name is Magna. Who is the person who lives inside of yours? As Izuku's like, mine? His name is Luck Voltia. And he tells me that you and him, or not you specifically, but the other person, Magna, they were really close friends. So, it's kind of a coincidence that we met each other here. Maybe it was already predestined, but who knows? All I know is that I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. As Kirishima was like, You think you're gonna kick my ass? Yeah, okay. We'll just see about that. It's when they get both in their stances. They both shoot off at amazing speeds, as Izuku is obviously faster than Kirishima, but it seems that Kirishima is packing quite a punch, as, if you don't know this already, manga spoiler, Kirishima uses Secret Flame Magic Soul Chain Deathmatch, as Izuku's like, oh, I remember this, clearly. You take my power, and you take your own, and you split it between us. It's only all about who has the most hands. But you know me. They call me the Happy Berserker for a reason. As he smiles a sinister grin. As Kirishima says, yeah, keep all that big talk. Let's see who really has the best hands. As Izuku's like, yeah. As he uses true lightning magic. Keranos! As he shoots right through Kirishima. But Kirishima don't seem that phased. He's just like, ooh, you pack quite a punch there, Izuku. Let's see how you deal with this. As Kirishima uses prison kill buckshot. As Izuku's like, oh, damn, as he has to dodge all these little balls of fire. They look like baseballs. As he just dodging it over and over again. As Izuku equips his lightning armor. As he says, now, let's see how you deal with these. As both Izuku and Kirishima are getting in a battle, almost fighting for their lives it seems, as everyone in the viewing room is just astonished by the power that they have. As Bakugo and Ida are having their little fight and skirmish as well, but they can feel what's going on over there, and it's kind of scaring them by the amount of power they're just exerting just by fighting each other to their heart's content. As we come back to the battle, as Izuku now says, now, thunderclap, crumbling orb, as he shoots it towards Kirishima as he dodges just in time. As Kirishima says, now, exploding fireball, as they're both just using distance attacks. As Izuku is saying, now, I've had enough of this. How about this? Lightning battle fiend. As he turns himself into almost all lightning, with just his face looking like a crazed madman who is trying to find a way to satiate his bloodlust. As Kirishima sees the look on Izuku's face, as he just smiles as well, as they're just both fighting each other with the biggest grins on their face, and after like 2 minutes of just straight out brawling, Izuku finally gets a good shot in, as he uses another lightning spell. As Izuku says, now, although this isn't my forte, I might as well use it since I have it. Now, true lightning magic. Zeus's spear, as he claps his hands together, separates them, and all you see is a spear of pure lightning come out of nowhere. As when he grabs it, he pulls it back. As Kirishima's on the floor, as he sees this, as he starts to get up as fast as he can, trying to dodge just in time, but it's already too late. As Izuku says, I'm sorry, but I'll be putting you in the hospital for a while. As he throws it towards Kirishima, as it hits him full force, as it just electrocutes Kirishima over and over and over again for about 30 seconds straight, which is a lot because Izuku's power in this is immense. As when it stops, Kirishima just falls to the floor, unconscious. As All Might says, oh shit, no, I'm calling this. As he calls the match, as he says, Team Izuku and Bakugo wins. Kirishima and Ida are the losers. Please, now someone escort Kirishima to the nurse. Everyone in the viewing room have their jaws dropped, as they're just astonished by the power that a certain man named Izuku Midoriya wields. As everyone is just baffled. They don't know what to say, they're just there, seeing this. As Izuku turns off his lightning fiend magic ability, as he calms down, as he breathes in and out calmly, as he looks up and he smiles and he says, ha, that was a good ass fight. Hopefully he gets stronger. As, Bakugo heads down there and he's like, holy shit, dude. I didn't even know you had that. Have you been hiding shit from me? And Izuku's like, yeah. I've certainly been hiding a lot, and I mean a lot of spells from you. It would be overkill if I used it on you, so my bad. As Bakugo's like, no, I completely understand. This is very, this is very scary and dangerous. So, yeah, I don't think I want you touching me with any of these spells ever. Alright? And Izuku's like, but don't you want to reach my level? As Bakugo's like, yeah, I want to reach your level, but I don't want to die in the process, okay? And Izuku's like, yeah, I get what you mean. Come on now. We won this one. As Bakugo's like, yeah, you're right, even though you didn't even let me finish the fucking task. As Izuku's like, yeah, my fault. As Izuku picks up Kirishima as he walks out, as he hands him to the nurse, as she kisses him. Kirishima is basically all better, except very, very tired. As he just lays there, as Izuku's like, ma'am, do you want me to take him to the nursing room? As she says, yeah, I would very much appreciate it if you did. I need to give him time to rest. That took a lot out of his body. Izuku's like, yeah, next time I'll go easy on him so you don't have to work as much. And she's like, oh, no, it's fine. You youngins have to, let out your stress somehow. And Izuku's like, I appreciate that, ma'am. She says, yeah, no problem. As he walks off and he takes off at the speed of fucking lightning and leaves Kirishima in one of the beds of the nursing room. As he gets back, all the matches end. As, All Might is finally there again, he says, well, I believe the winners here are clearly obvious. It is Bakugo and Izuku Midoriya. As, some people are like, yeah, we can certainly see why these two are powerhouses. And they also found a way to control their powers to a certain extent to where they didn't even do that much collateral damage, even though they were exerting themselves a lot. That is very impressive. Especially Izuku. He was throwing out attacks left and right, same with Kirishima. As everyone is just astonished. They now earn a sense of respect for Izuku and Bakugo. Bakugo more so because, he's been having to deal with this guy for his whole life, basically. Fighting him left and right. And, he's been able to improve so much. So now they're like, what if we fight him? Would we improve the same amount he did? As, everyone is just murmuring about amongst themselves. As, Kendo and Reiko come up to Izuku and Bakugo. As, they all just have their fun time as, All Might says, alright, you guys are dismissed now. You guys can go have lunch. As, they go to the lunchroom as when they all get their food, they sit down. They're having a good old time. People are walking up to them. Mostly people from Class 1A as they're, asking them questions and shit. As, they start forming a little group. And then out of nowhere, the alarms start going off. Now, almost every single first year just goes bolting out of the room. The only people who stay put are Izuku, Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, as he was just about to get up and just slowly walk out. Second years, they're all gone. Third years, there's only like a little handful of them just staying back. As when Izuku notices that, they're only just paparazzi and news motherfuckers, even though they somehow mysteriously got into the building, he, dashes all the way in front of the group, tells them to stop as he says, Now. There's no need to get all angsty, alright? It's only a false alarm. There are only reporters trying to get into the school, although I do not know how they got into the school. It's safe to say that we're all okay now. Get back and stop embarrassing yourselves. As people in class 1 are just like, damn, should we have him as the class representative? Because they haven't done that yet. They haven't voted on who is going to be class representative. Because, in this timeline, they were allowed to get to know each other better. Even though it's only been like 2 days. But, they've obviously known about each other a lot more now than in canon. As, when they all walk back, Izuku's like, damn. As, when he walks towards where the gate is, because he got out of there. He was already done with lunch, so he didn't really have to worry about that. He notices that the whole gate is just disintegrated. And he's like, what the? What the hell? How the fuck did someone do this shit? Huh. It might have been that mana that I sensed earlier. Or it could have been someone's quirk. Huh. Questions for later, questions for later. Might as well get back to class. Because when he gets back to class, since he already put away all his food, Kendo, Reiko, and Baku were asking him, like, where were you? As he was like, I went outside to go check on the gate, wondering how the reporters got in, and I saw that it was disintegrated. Now, I don't know if it was someone with mana, alright, because I did sense a huge amount of it, almost on par with mine, if not stronger, who knows. Or if it was someone's quirk. All I know is that it's dangerous and that if we ever encounter someone who has the ability to disintegrate anything with a touch, run. That's all I'm telling you. Run. Because I don't know how powerful they are. And who knows, they might be the strongest out of anyone here. Maybe even stronger than All Might. As, they all look at each other with like worried faces, but Izuku then says, but it's nothing to worry about. If they had that power, they probably would have been able to do anything they wanted. I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but who knows? Maybe they're waiting for something. A good and perfect time to do something. Only time will tell, Only time will tell. And that is where I'm going to be ending off part 2 to what if Deku was a reincarnation of Luck Voltia. Hopefully you enjoyed part 2. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. Like and comment. If you haven't already, subscribe. And other than that, I'ma catch y'all sexy ass motherfuckers later.